It's time for the Locals Only podcast with Dixon.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is the Locals Only podcast. I am Dixon, and no, you are not seeing triple. Joining me this evening, the Reeves brothers. That would be Council. The duo is Andy and Pat. The solo is Doug, which is not usually how it works, but that's how we are this evening. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Very good. Thank you for taking the time to do this. For those of you that follow, either camp on social media, I had a lot of people ask, did you get to hang out with the Reeves brothers? Are they back in Syracuse? Because we met up and caught up a couple weeks back. And the Reeves brothers are back in Baldwinsville, New York. Gentlemen, welcome home.
Thank you.
Glad to be here. Yeah.
So there's a lot to come in 2022. I was scrolling through TikTok over the weekend and I saw TikTok and then I heard a song, right? And I knew the song, but it didn't click in my head right away. And I'm old and my eyes are awful, so I don't really see that little scrolling thing in the bottom corner too well anymore. But it was a single that you just re-released called Don't Give a, and I'm not going to say the last word. So that was cool for me to see that you're gaining some momentum with a newer track, kind of showing off a different side of Council, and it's catching on TikTok.
Thank you very much. The song Never Give a Blank Again. For us, we prepare these releases, or you have these expectations when you're releasing them that maybe you can get a sync, or there's something else going on besides the actual release. For this, it was kind of like we wrote it for being frustrated in general, and it was kind of empowering for us to just lay it out there to say, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. I got to follow what I think is right. And it was like, this is time. It feels like the atmosphere is right, for people who are just like, I got to do my own thing.
Yeah, we've actually had it canned for a while. It was basically it was a demo, and it was Doug and Pat's idea to release it. And I was kind of against it at first because I'm quality control. And I'm like, we can't put that out. It's a demo. But realistically, once I heard it after they released it and everything, I was like, yeah, it vibes. It's cool. It's got like a lo-fi type vibe to it. I was like, I like it. Yeah. So
I listened to it enough times in the car, and I was like, we really should release this.
Yeah.
I think it was a good move either way. It's a point in our life. It's good to be documented where we felt at that time. As a song and as a band, I think it was important to just get that out there for our story so people can follow what's coming next for us.
Yeah. And true to the song, we weren't so concerned this time with getting ahead of it with the release and promoting it and everything. It was just kind of like, let's just put it out there. It's something, it kind of expresses where we were at that point. Let's just, in the spirit of the song, just throw it out there. And that's what we did. So it felt good,
Absolutely. As we are waning away from the COVID days, or the worst of the COVID days, I don't think that they'll ever be over, but, we're no longer in quarantine. We're, most people are not wearing masks in public. We're getting back to, the old normal as opposed to the new normal. And I know that the last couple of years had to be really frustrating, especially for artists like yourselves that are used to being so productive and hitting the studio and rehearsals and everything else. And now you're just home. Same token, I know some artists really thrived in that setting, right? They were able to spend some time writing, reflecting. And we saw a lot of music come out in 2021, and now we're still seeing it in 2022, where everybody has sort of like a journal, so to speak, a journal song of their 2 years, right? Because I think that's how we're going to remember it, is like, what did you do for those first 2 years of the 2020s, right? I think a lot of people lose the sort of frame that we're going to be in history books. We lived through a global pandemic that essentially shut the world down. So I think that song is sort of a great thing to come out of that, right? I think it's how everybody feels. And I think that's why it's starting to really respond on TikTok. And for those of you that use it, you guys get a notification anyway, but hashtag Council if you do use that. It's a fun one. And if we could get that thing trending on TikTok, that would be dope. And it would be a way to bring even more attention back here to Syracuse, just like these guys returned back to the Syracuse area, Baldwinsville, more specifically the hometown. Now, I do want to backtrack a little bit here because You mentioned while we were drinking expensive coffee, you guys were planning on re-releasing, remastering, re-something Rust to Gold, which is the song that actually got you a lot of attention back in 2018. Actually is where our relationship started as well, because at the time, a mutual friend of ours hit Joe and I up at the radio station and said, hey, there's this song, and it got synced to the 2018 Winter Olympics, and these three brothers are from Baldwinsville. And like, for me to not know local musicians who have gone to that level was like, I was immediately intrigued. I was like, well, who are these guys? And I did some digging, and, you know, I reached out, we got the song going. You've played some shows in Syracuse. You really kind of like wrapped your arms around it. For a lot of people who don't know, Rust to Gold was heard worldwide, like on literally every broadcast of NBC's Olympic coverage. Like, what made you guys want to go back and revisit that tune? I love the song. I would love to hear a new take on it. What are the plans for putting a new version of Rust to Gold out into the world?
You know, I think the Taylor Swift premise, that's not the leading reason, but it does help to own the master, so you can do more creative things with it. So that I think now, as your band, as you're going through these years and you go through the pandemic as well, you're always going to look back and be like, you know what, I wish we did this with Rust to Gold. I wish we kind of approached it a different way, because at that point we independently released it, we pushed it, we didn't really know what we were doing, and now the opportunity came about in 2020.
I think the song was ahead of the band, if that makes sense. I think the song, we couldn't probably live up to what the song was at the time, and now I think we could live up to the song, but before I don't think we could when we first released it.
And we felt like it was, you know, for people now, you know, we're fortunate to getting a fan base and stuff, is modernizing the song, but also letting them know where we start again, you know, saying this is where it all stemmed from. You know, this is why you're hearing Never Give a Blank Again, or why you're hearing this song that we came out with. This all started with this, and we move forward and evolve. But for people who might have only heard that or heard later stuff, you know, we really wanted to tie it all together again, and this is our opportunity to do it. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, is there a time frame for a release, or is it something you've already started working on?
Yeah, so we actually went to Subcat. We mentioned that to you, a local Syracuse place. It was great. We've never been there before. We recorded the vocals there. I think that, what was it?
Billy.
Yeah, Billy, engineer. Yeah. So it was very unique for us to be in a Syracuse studio, because we've been to LA and New York City, but not to Syracuse, oddly enough. So it was very cool.
It really was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So great experience.
Everything's re-recorded now, where we send it off to Mark Needham, who's done like The Killers and Imagine Dragons, and he's going to be mixing it for us. But I would say around the 6-week mark, because we have some surprises we're going to bring along with it this time around. We want to do, you know, some of the things we're going to do is an acoustic version, and some other things, and also probably have a guest singing on one of the versions of the song as well. So we really want to like treat it like it's a reemergence from us, and where it's like our big leap forward to say, here we are, you know, we're ready for this.
It's a lot. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. It's a lot. It's a thing to pivot and show where we are and move forward from it. We're not looking at the past and you know, rehashing something old. And
you better agree with it. I mean, that was the plan. We talked about it.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited because there's one more thing that we can't talk about yet, but we're looking forward to at the very beginning of summer with Council. And I think right around the time we announce that, we'll circle back, do the 315 is Alive, and maybe take you up on that acoustic version of Rust to Gold.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Very cool. Excellent. Well, the other thing that I do want to mention, because again, intriguing to me. You guys seem to have a really good international footing, fan base wise. And they've all found me as well. So like I interact with so many of your fans from all over the world, Italy, Germany, multiple parts of Asia, and the west coast of Canada.
Well,
it's
crazy.
It's crazy, and we're very blessed to have people that are very active. It's a different, you probably know this too, it's a different culture where they feel comfortable interacting, where, you know, in the United States, it's almost hesitant or they want to keep it a secret. Like, this is my indie band that I love, that's not big yet. kind of want to keep it to myself, and I hope they don't get too big because then I'm not going to like them anymore.
Yeah, the minute you know, someone from another country like falls for your band or really likes what you do, they're all in. A lot of them are all in. And the first question we get a lot of times after like they say they like the music is, how can we help? How can we help you guys move forward? You know, and that's so refreshing and so nice. And that's why we work so hard, you know, to you know, give them content, to talk to them, message them, because they, you know, we know how much they're helping us.
Absolutely. And I think part of it too, having had the real opportunity to travel and tour manage abroad, the audiences are just more passionate. And I don't mean that in like a negative way towards American crowds. Just think about the fact that like the big worldwide stadium acts are typically either British or American, which means that like there's two countries that the big touring bands come from, which means the rest of the world doesn't get them nearly as frequently. Right. So for them to see a big American band or a band like the Hun is a great example of a British band that does way better throughout the rest of the world than they even do in England and definitely in the States. Like, because people look at them like, oh my God, there's this band from the UK and they're coming here to like this strange part of the world that bands never come to. Right. So I think there's part of that. And then I think that, and you guys have to understand this too, being musicians yourself, and I know that you're all lifelong fans of music, is like when you find something that really connects with you, like you feel like you're a part of it, right? You know, most of us, you know, growing up, we didn't have all of these connective things. So like, you know, you would write a fan letter if you were super like passionate about a band, or you would try and meet somebody backstage at a club show. You weren't meeting them if they were like the War Memorial or anything, because they came in and drove underground and stuff. Now there's this access, right? And when big rock stars like retweet somebody or like a tweet, it's like this thing that everybody screen grabs and reposts like it's some big deal. But like for me, I think it's cooler when I actually see the three of you interacting multiple times a day, every single day, with random people across your social media, and it's genuine. And I think that's why the word spreads, is because you guys are hungry for it, you're here for it, and you're all very kind and understand your fan base, and you were that fan. And I think that's where a lot of the humble nature of the three of you comes from.
Very well put. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
They really, you know, the fans, they mean a lot, you know, and I don't want to say like in a positive way, you know, like I can test Doug and I is when you get a lot of messages, of course, most people's reaction is, well, I'll let it go. I don't want to do this. Is a lot of messaging, you know, but you become part of these people's lives. And it's like, you know, if I have an extra 5 minutes, I'm always on my phone trying to answer every message possible through Instagram and Facebook. And it's like, you really be connected with so many different people.
We know, like I know there's people, a person I talked to from Poland. So when she'll go to a party or have a barbecue, I'll say, send me some pictures, like, you know, of what you guys cook. So we're getting to learn different cultures, what they do over there. And it's so interesting to us, you know, and we'd be like naive not to try to learn from other people and what they do and their you know, their customs. So I think it feeds both ends. It feeds our creativity and our human spirit, as well as them with our music.
Very cool. I think you guys are going to do really well when you do tour internationally, if we're being honest. I think you guys have the right attitude, and you're, man, I don't know how to say this, and I hope y'all take this like the right way, is like you're a gimmickless gimmick band, right? Like nature did that, right? Like, you know, like for those that don't have eyes, you know, Pat and Doug are twins, and Andy is their very handsome brother that kind of looks just like them, right? Like you have this thing that it just works, right? Like how many great sibling bands have there been over the years, whether we're talking about, you know, Oasis or the Black Crows, or in modern days like Kings of Leon, right? Or you know, and on the same level, Jocelyn and Chris aren't brother sister, right? Lizzie and RJ Hale from Hailstorm. It's for me a recipe for success. And the up part is you guys don't fist fight, which seems to be like a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, you know, great that we get to keep it in-house per se. I think there's a comfort level there. And I think that as we start realizing, like between the three of us, where it's good to be, so intertwined, but we've realized, hey, there's no harm in opening up and talking with other people, working with different people or taking advice. And as we've done that, we've actually grown as a band, as brothers, because we used to just
we try to open our circle a little bit,
exactly,
not be so secret handshake-ish.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a secret handshake, bro. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So when people are looking for counsel, I know that it can be a struggle online. I do know, because I've had to tag you so many times, that it's Counsel Band 3 on Facebook.
Yep. That is Counsel Band 3 on Facebook.
And
give me
the Instagram, the TikTok, the Snapchat, the Bandcamp, SoundCloud.
For Instagram and for TikTok, it's just Counsel Band, @CounselBand. For Twitter, it's Counsel_Band. And if you want to go to our site, check out what we have and some merch, it's counselband.com.
All right, perfect. And you guys are on the streaming platforms as well. The music is out there. I encourage everybody to make a TikTok or a reel and use Don't Give Up from Counsel and tag Counsel, and then tag 95X, and I'll repost them. I'll put them out on my social media. You probably have more followers than me, but it's still like 8,000 more eyes.
We even try, we just mix them all together, make it bigger for everyone in Syracuse. I think that works well. Let's do it.
And maybe one of you young people could like stitch a few of them together to make one like big TikTok for Counsel.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Because I'm not much at TikTok. I eat pickles on TikTok.
I've seen it.
And I don't give out my TikTok name publicly because people are creepy. And I also enjoy lurking in the shadows of TikTok and not being out in the open. I use my picture. It's really me, but it is an obnoxious name that I won't say because I gave it out once and I got like 700 new followers and it made me uncomfortable. All right, so you know where to find them, and you can also find them back in Central New York, and we've got a way for you to see them live. That's the tease I'll give. So when we get Counsel back, it'll be on the 315 as a live Tuesday nights at 7 at 95X Syracuse on Instagram. We will at that point unleash to the world what our plan for Counsel performing live for you all this summer will be, in collaboration with myself, the radio station, 95X, locals only, and all of our good sponsors. And then on that same night, we'll do a Rust to Gold acoustic set. And maybe by then we'll also have something else to chat about. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I mean, it seems like things just move forward in these giant steps for you guys. So I feel like if I don't talk to you for 3 weeks, we catch up, you've got like 5 new things to tell me. It makes me very happy. I'm so proud of you guys.
This means everything to us in 95X, and actually the people of Syracuse. It's a really, it's important to us. That's also why we're here. To help lift the music scene and be part of it, and really elevate it to a different level. That's important to us.
Very cool. Well, you're all excellent young men. I see a very bright future for you. I can't wait to unleash to the world what we've been working on. I can't wait for the new version of Rust to Gold, and I obviously can't wait to chat with you boys again. Doug, Andy, Pat, thank you so much for your time. Everybody go follow Counsel Band everywhere. There's a bunch of different ways you got to type it in. Just do a Google search and then find a link tree and then click them all.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Tune in next week to the Locals Only podcast. I will be sitting down to chat with Keith Cavaleric, formerly of Johnny Vegas, now out there on his own doing that solo thing. And you can hear his brand new single, Dangerous, this Sunday night at 11 p.m. on Locals Only on 95X. We will see you next week at 2 for another edition of the Locals Only podcast.